And a lot of questions are coming in my head. Do we tank? Do we be consistent? Like, I just want to ask you guys, what is your thoughts on the Celtics as of recently? And we'll go Andrew, David, me. We'll go in order.
Yeah. So I think that, obviously the Celtics got off to a bit of a shaky start the season. And like we are always discussing, they're a young team, a new team, all trying to figure out what their roles are, where they're going to fit in into the rotation, and how they're going to ultimately win basketball games. And I think we can't underestimate that. We can't. We have to understand where they're at and what they're facing, and just give them time to continue to develop and grow into the team that they are. And if we're being honest, in the month of November, I mean, they're they have made improvements. They have found ways to get better as the season has progressed. Boston's actually doing like doing pretty well, and obviously I'm very high on Brown. We talked about it in the recap, and their offensive rating as of right now is about 118, sixth in the league, right? So they're competing. They're putting points in. They're allowing a couple more points than normal and compared to last seasons. But as we said, that's to be expected. So I'm really not. I'm not really too disappointed in this team, considering where they're at it and kind of what the expectations were for them. I think guys like guys like Derek White, we're still kind of wanting to see him continue to find his way and get a little better. So that's something that I'm a little shaky on, and he still needs to improve upon. But from that perspective, other than that, like, yeah, this team's they're winning games and they're competing. Right now I'm pretty happy with where they're at, and I expect them to just continue to progress.
Yeah, I mean, it's been. I mean, recently I look at the last two games, and we had the embarrassment against the Nets on this past Friday in the NBA Cup game. I mean, that was just inexcusable. Losing that game, and then we bounced back and beat the Magic, a team that prides itself on its defensive identity. Maybe, I mean, obviously they're off to a shaky start as well this year, but we put over 130 points on the Magic, a team that is a defensive juggernaut in recent years, and we are able to win that game in epic fashion, I guess, on the offensive end. It's been a weird season, and it reminds me a lot of the season right after the bubble, the 2020-2021 season, where, funnily enough, the Red Sox. Sorry, they're not the Red Sox. I just got done doing a Red Sox podcast, so make
Check
sure
that out. Go check it out.
But the Celtics finished that season at 36-36. Truly a mediocre season. Maybe we're honestly heading that way with the Celtics, and when this whole thing's said and done, we'll finish the year at 41-41. Sorry, 41-41. But we'll get there when we get there. That's like months down the road. It's really not so much for me this year with the Celtics about, as crazy as it says, like the wins and the losses. It's more so about the development for me. Like, obviously, I want this team to keep winning. I want this team to be in the playoffs. I think it'd be interesting if this team were in a play-in. Like, I could do a whole podcast on why I think a play-in would be so crucial for the development of our young guys, just having some sort of like intense playoff experience underneath their belts heading into next season when we get, the franchise player back, Jason Tatum. It's a weird time we're in as the Celtics fans, where you're convinced this is a development year, but you see glimpses that maybe it could be more. And then if it's maybe more, are we going to get Tatum back in like February, March, April? And then can that catapult us into a run later in the season? But to answer one of your questions from your opening remarks, Griffin, I absolutely do not think we should tank at all. And I would reprimand any fan who considers themselves to be a fan that is rooting for the Celtics to tank, because you are not a fan of a sports team if you are actively rooting for them to suck. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot call yourself a fan.
And if I could just add something to that, I think tanking is more detrimental to the Celtics' development in my eyes than actually really playing out the season in playing trying to play winning basketball. Because in my opinion, you wanna find ways to obviously develop your younger guys and figure out how to kinda figure out where they're gonna fit, but I think in doing so, you still hold them to that high standard of winning basketball games, and you put that pressure on them, and you put that winning identity. Whether or not you're winning games, you still go into every game thinking, "We're gonna win this game, and we're gonna give everything we have on that court. We're not gonna tank." I don't think you wanna give guys that even a thought in their mind that they're gonna tank because you want them to give it their all. That's gonna be really where they develop when they're giving 100% and they're playing with guys like Jaylen Brown, where next year Tatum comes back, they have an understanding of how to play with Brown.
And I'm a firm believer in like karma in the sports world where like teams that tank, like that karma, if you're intentionally tanking, that karma always comes back to bite you. Like,
Definitely.
you know, I remember the Clippers a few years ago tanked the final game of the regular season to, I think, avoid the Clippers in the first round matchup. And then later in that playoff run, Kawhi Leonard tore his ACL and missed the whole following season. And another infamous example in the NFL is allegedly the Colts tanking for Andrew Luck in the early 2010s, and then Andrew Luck dealing with injuries the rest of his career and retiring early. So I just believe in karma as well. And also, even if the Celtics tried to tank, it probably wouldn't go anywhere because the East is absolutely horrible right now
Right.
with the Wizards, Hornets, Nets, and I'm forgetting one team here, the Pacers, basically all sucking to the extreme so far this season. So basically, the Celtics would have to try to be worse than the 10 seeds so far in the Eastern Conference that we've seen in the NBA this year. So might as well just ride it out, see what we can do with this team, and then see who can be a part of the core moving forward once we get some more clarity when Tatum will be back, either later this season or for sure by the start of next season.
Yeah, and I just want to add on to that because like we shouldn't like tank on purpose. Like the thing is, I get it. I like Debanza too. I think he's incredible, and I think he screams and loves Boston. I think that's a guy who has Boston written all over him. But you don't tank for him or Cameron Boozer. Those are guys who, say you fall into a Maverick situation. Maybe they were more so in a tanking stage, but this team could look to play competitive. And by the end of the season, with how the lottery is fixed out, the Boston Celtics could potentially even end up with those picks. So it's like you don't do it on purpose, but if you lose some games and it's like, all right, you don't fall to being the number 6 seed, you fall to being the 10th seed or something. Maybe the Celtics do end up with the number 1 or 2 pick. Like, who knows what could happen? And I don't say you go out there and purposely lose games because what you guys say is completely accurate. You don't go out there and lose games. You go out there and play competitive. There's guys on this team who needs to learn in a developmental year that we've talked about. Those are guys that need to go out there and learn how to play when Jason Tatum comes back and this team is once again a quote unquote competitive team once again. So you don't purposely lose. If the Boston Celtics do end up being the 10th seed though, would I be mad? A little bit because we didn't play aggressive, but at the same time, it's like we're gonna talk about this ahead. The road ahead too looks crazy. So if it's like you do end up falling to the 10th seed and you get Debanza, great. But you don't purposely do that. You don't purposely try to lose games. You have too much of a competitive coach to purposely lose
Well,
games.
that too. I don't think they have it in them to not compete and win these games. Like it's just the standard that the Celtics organization holds. It's the legacy that has been set in place. And I just you can't. You can't. There's just no way. You can't willfully do that. I just don't see it. And it's just not gonna happen.
It's just not logical. And my thing about the Celtics play as of recently is it's been a roller coaster. Back in January, it was a roller coaster. It was like, all right, we think we're supposed to do good, but we're losing to teams that we should not lose to. Now it's like, all right, we kind of know where we're at, but it's still games where it's like, oh, should have had that one. Oh, should have had that one. And then you play a Magic team, which again, they haven't fully figured it out, but it's like you beat the Magic and it's like, oh, great, we just beat the Orlando Magic. You beat the Cavs. It's like, great, we beat the Cavs. You beat the 76ers. It's like, great, we beat the 76ers. But then it's like, you have those games where you face the Rockets and it's like, all right, we know what we are. So it's a roller coaster of emotions. Like there's going to be games where we're going to have a phenomenal game, but then there's games where it's like, all right, we kind of see where we're at. Like it's expected, you know?
It's like they're on a ride at Kenobi.
Yeah. All right. Andrew has ongoing beef with me because I don't know how to say it.
I'm Team Andrew on this one.
Low-key, and I get it because you're from Maine, so you haven't been.
I'm from Connecticut.
I
was born in Connecticut, but I moved
and you don't necessarily know about Canopy. But I've been going to Canopy since I was probably 2 years old. 2 years old. I was riding the little rides on the side, and then I grew up and was able to ride the good rides and all that. So like it's just so close to me that I'm like, I can't even fathom that people don't know how to say it. But I understand it.
I'm more of a Six Flags guy. See, because I grew up in Connecticut, so Six Flags was right there. So that was my like little go-to, you know.
Right. 7 Flags.
David, you what mascot was it? Like this meme needs to die. David, you and this meme.
David's running with it. Hey,
David's keeping it alive, you guys.
I'm keeping every single number meme alive. It's going to be my goal. I mean, episode 76 with 76 backwards, 67. So I'll find
this guy.
When we hit episode 8, 9, I mean, that's going to be crazy.
All right. Well, going back though to the Boston Celtics, I mean, I just want to give one initial thing for fans too is, and I don't remember what one of you guys said it, but it's like, if you're a fan of this team, who said it? You don't tank.
David.
It was David. David, you take the can we give him a round of applause, Andrew?
Yeah, of course.
Let's give him a round of applause for that one.
That needs to be a little more on cue.
But I just have to say, with that, it is true. If you're a fan of this team, you want to see them be successful. This is a team that you don't want to wish negative upon. This is a team where you want them to thrive. You want them to do good. They have young guys like Josh Minot, who we'll get into later in this podcast, and Jordan Walsh. And there's guys where it's like they could really turn into something. And the Boston Celtics could be raising banner 19 next year. I know that's drastic to say so early, but it can happen. Anything can happen. But do you guys have any final thoughts on how the Celtics have been playing as of recently?
I mean, that's not a crazy thing to say. What you just said, Griffin, where like the Warriors had a couple years where they reset after winning 3 championships in a 5-year span and going to the finals 5 years in a row, and then we all know what happened in 2022. I don't really want to talk about it too much. It's still a sour spot, but they reset where they had a year where most of their team was injury prone. They, punted for a year, and then they reset, and everyone came back healthy the following year, a couple years later, and they were able to get the job done. So it's not crazy to say the Celtics. I almost said the Red Sox again. It's not crazy to say the Celtics could get back into championship contention by like 2028 for sure. Maybe not next year, but I think by 2028, that's not crazy to say.
No, not at all. And to be honest, I keep saying this, and this could be a blessing in disguise in some ways, because you get, Tatum's injured. That's not something you want to see, but you got to take something away from it, right? You got to find the positive in the negative and find somehow to take advantage of the moment and move forward. And, the Celtics were on a crazy run. They were intense. They were, I mean, Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, just continuously having seasons go very late into the NBA season, and it's almost like David said, obviously reset, but it's just these guys have been just pushing and pushing and pushing. It's like this is a little time to kind of take a step back, reevaluate, reassess, and then push forward and kind of have a fresh perspective on the season and just start over. I know this is not an SMCC basketball podcast, but this college team, that the college that I came from, they won the nationals. They had this whole kind of, you know, standard set for them, and yes, that's the standard you want to set, but it just kind of it ran its course. It was ready to have a fresh start and move on. And so I think the Celtics are almost in that same position where it's just like new identity, new team, new guys, and we're just gonna rebuild and just keep going. So it's almost a blessing in disguise.
And especially with guys getting older. I mean, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Porzingis, who not really older, but dealing with injuries and stuff. And I know you guys have heard the rumors about the Celtics potentially going Porzingis, but like there's so many guys who, you know, it was great for that 1 year, but again, old age, time to reset, hit the reset button. It was due for the Celtics when you have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who we didn't expect that injury to happen to Jason Tatum. But when you have guys young and in their peak prime right there, you want to win now. So they got guys to win now. And these are guys where this is a year to test guys. And it's like, can we implement them into our roster? And that's all that has to be said. It really, because that's what the Celtics did.